Special tribute by my son, Dwight, Grandpa's grandson.
Thanks, Dad. Yeah, I'm a special tribute. Everybody else is memoirs and mementos, but I'm a special tribute. What was it you said, Rabbi? Mom is a hard act to follow. Well, how am I supposed to follow all that? They said everybody was, everybody likes to say they're the favorites, but they saved the best for last. Ken, you don't count. Wherever you are, you do not count. You opened the ceremony yesterday, and you're closing it today. You're like the bread of the sandwich. I am the official last. That is, pretty sure there's a law somewhere about that. It's really tough being the last one because everybody else gets to cover all the stuff, and then all the material that you prepared, they already did, and so you got to repeat it. And everybody's like, we already heard that. Yeah, I know, but this one's mine. Like the whistle. Yeah. Thank you. Though actually, the thing is I'm glad I'm not the only one. So that's fantastic. Whew. Okay. Something else you said that stuck out to me, Rabbi, was that there's no better time that this would have happened, and I agree with you. He passed at 97, and as we all know, 97 is a prime number, so he lived to his prime. Yeah. Also, if you could imagine, if this were a year prior, Grandma would be getting a letter from Joe Biden. Could you imagine how he'd be in his grave? Yeah, burn it! He'd probably crawl right back out to mail it back. See? Best for last. No, to be honest, I don't know how to do a tribute. I just know how to follow what we've been doing, which is sharing memories about Grandpa and his effect that he had on us. And I do want to point out, though, that Mom's claim that she never went back to rice and beans is a lie. We all grew up on it. Mom, you know it's true. And now I know the origins. It was you this whole time. It's okay, Grandpa. It was tasty. So I'm going to try to keep this brief. I know Mom said 5 minutes. Some people went to 14. So series, set an alarm for whenever I'm done. Thank you. So things that I remember. I don't know actually what the tune was, but it was always the same. It was a legitimate song. It was a song. And I know this because so I grew up hearing that. You heard it when he was working. I would hear it when I was sleeping in the carnival taxidermy room of horrors. And I would wake up on the carpet, because that's where we sleep, was on the carpet. And I would hear him outside in the house doing stuff and, prepare. I don't know what he was doing, but you would always hear it. And it was a soothing thing, as you're opening your eyes to creatures of the night who have been watching you like gargoyles. It was soothing, It brought your blood pressure back down, And as kids, I don't even know how we had high blood. It's because that room. I actually asked him, I said, Grandpa, and this was years later. He had since ceased to do the and I said, Grandpa, you remember when you did the whistle thing? You did this whistle thing. It's not a whistle. Oh, yeah. I was like, what is that song? Was that an actual song or were you just doodling? He's like, no, that was a real song. And he went on. He told me the song. He told me the actual song. I have since forgotten what that song was. So do you know what the song was? No. All right. Keep your secrets. Okay. It's okay, though, because it lives with us. And we will always remember that. I also, again, revisiting material that has already been claimed, being pinched really hard. Okay, you were not faking those reactions. They were horrible. Okay, I remember when I was that age, it would leave bruises. It was abuse. I'm kidding. It was not. And he would have this like hee 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 like little like leprechaun grin when he would do it. And I was like 3, like all I know is trauma. For there was a period of time, I think for a time I was afraid to get near him. And that was kind of sad because I know that he did love hanging out with us, and he was just joking around. He was a prankster, he was a jokester. But I will never let you forget that, the pinching, ever. Oh yeah, he was very good with Spanish. He was very good, being married to our grandmother. He could speak Spanish very well. One particular phrase was "Tu quiero pum pum," which was code. I don't even know what it translates to, but I do know that it means, "Do you want a spanking with the belt?" That he did use on me multiple times. To the point where, all he had to do was ask, like, "Tu quiere pam pam?" And then, of course, which I would find was a silly question, because I knew what he was asking. Do you want to be spanked? To which my brain, as a kid, I'm like, why would I answer yes to this question? Why are you asking me this? And it made sense when I was being bad, but again, that teasing guy sometimes is just, Dwight, tu quiere pam pam? Like, no, I don't. I did my homework. I've been good. Why are you asking me this? Oh, man. I made this mistake one time. He had this other thing he would always give me grief about. He liked to always say, and I brought it on myself, okay, if I'm being honest. I brought it on myself. I brought the "tu quiere pam pam" on myself because I wasn't a good boy. I deserved it. Then, we've all been kids, okay? Every one of us has done this in our childhood, but we thought something was funny that somebody else did. And so we decide to appropriate it as our own thing, and then we just overuse it to the point of oblivion where it annoys everybody around us, and it's not funny, and we just, our kids do it to us, as punishment for us doing it to our parents, and so on and so forth. And I did that. Some kid, I think it was Adam Fannin, had decided to make a song during one of our daily devotionals, Bible reading. We were reading Revelation 21:8. And he decided to read that, and basically it went like this. He created this song. He's like, Revelation 21:8, 21:8. Liars go to hell, where they burn forever. Burn, 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 burn. See, it's funny. It's funny the first time you hear it. But if you were my age, when I was like 5, it was hilarious forever. And so I decided to appropriate it and sing it. And mom and dad, being mom and dad, encouraging that they are, loving me that they are. Ha ha ha, Dwight, that's so funny. Sing it again, sing it again. So I sang it in front of Grandpa. And Grandpa, sharp as a tack, would never forget that song. So later on, when I would not be a good boy, if I did something and I didn't want it to get a pom-pom, did you do the thing? No, I didn't. Oh, Dwight, burn, burn, burn. Brought it on myself. Brought it on myself. Of course, then there were just regular times where it was like, did you do the dishes? Yes, I did. I actually did the dishes. Don't burn, burn, burn. But I did the dishes. The sky is blue. Are you sure? Burn, burn, burn. Okay, now who's being a 5-year-old, Grandpa? Now who's being the 5-year-old? So yeah, that's something I will never forget. He loved to say burn, burn, burn to me. It sounds twisted, but that was Grandpa. He's a funny guy. He was a funny guy. He was a prankster. From the letter about the bear, I'll get him back. I'm sure he did. From the pinching and the burning and all the other things that he did. We give Uncle Lewis grief. I know Mom likes to give Uncle Lewis grief about all the pranks he did to them. Hey, he put a bucket over a door and it fell on me. It's Lewis. He threw a baseball at my face. Where do you think he got it, Mom? Where do you think he got his prankstering? He got it honest. So yeah, he was the patriarchal prankster. He was our Loki, and we love him for that. The big thing, though, that I will never forget and always remember is, and we've said it. Everybody has come up here and said it. He had an abundance of love for his family. And it always came in the shape of that smile right there. he loved his family more than anybody I've ever seen love a family. I think I love my family, but then I look at this guy and I'm like, no, you loved your family way more than I love mine. Sorry, Atlas. I know you're going to watch this. But it's true. Grandpa loved you more than I ever could love any creature, and that is nothing to say about. I mean, it just is. It's just the man. It's just the man's heart. It's no sense. I mean, it's no sense competing. Don't even try. We had a conversation, and I'll get into it later. But in this conversation, he revealed to me that his family was his purpose. Like, that was his purpose, and as a man who has struggled finding my purpose and living in a life where I realize, like, there are plenty of philosophers out there. There's plenty of books that have been written about this, but like, it is a fact. It is a rule, a cosmic law written by God that a man needs purpose. Like, it needs it. He needs it. And if he doesn't have it, like, that is bad juju. This is nothing good. You must have purpose. That's for us men, okay? Ladies, I'll let the ladies talk to y'all. But for us men, we have to have it. And family, there's no greater purpose than family. And my grandfather saw that and lived it. And that became this inspiration for this tribute video. I've been blessed. I was asked to make a tribute video, and I didn't know what to make it about, except, a slideshow. But I didn't want to be a slideshow. So I wanted to be more. And so Mom had given me these... before I go into that, there was one thing he loved more than family, and that was Grandma. I saw it firsthand. You see it in the darkest of times. Like, it's easy when things are fine, but when things get like low or dark or dangerous, you really see what's important in somebody. And it happened right here in this church. I was right there in the sound booth. And Grandma and Grandpa had gotten up to walk out, and Grandma fell. And it was a little fall. She didn't break anything, thank God. But she fell, and thank God somebody was there to help her to help her up. But I saw Grandpa's face. I saw his face, like from seeing it, unable to do anything about it. And it was like his life, it was like he had seen his life end. That's the only way I can put it. And he was like recovering. He was like trying to recover from that. Just seeing her fall. And you don't. Yeah, it's okay, Grandma. I do. I will never forget. And he remembers. So we got it. But anyway, making this video, Mom wanted me to make. Dad gave me a bunch of pictures on Google Drive, and Mom gave me these VHS tapes from a long time ago, and I was digitizing them one by one, and I got to see Grandpa in like brand new eyes, because I know Grandpa growing up as a kid, and so we know things, we like the information we process as a child, we process like childishly, right? But as an adult, if we can look back at those things and go, yeah. And so I got to see Grandpa with brand new eyes. And with those eyes, I saw things that were long before the fall. I got to see Grandpa with Grandma on vacations. And that's the thing, is like, we live 6 hours away from Grandma and Grandpa, so we didn't get to spend all the morning, the Monday, the Sunday through Saturday, whatever, Monday to Friday with them. We got to travel the world. I'm going to brag about that. I got to brag about that. So we got to do the fun traveling trips. And so I got to see Grandpa with Grandma during those times, and just the like, they were like kids. Like, he was like a high school kid with like, just like they were like high school sweethearts, but they were grandparents. And he loved her, and he loved his children. He loved his grandchildren. I got to see that, but I also got to see that he did, as Mom said, there is something that she said that was true. He loved to dance. Loved to dance. And not like the people who love to dance but like shouldn't. You know, there's people who clearly love to get. They're usually hippies, really, with the drum circles. Those people definitely should not dance. Sorry if you are a hippie out there. I'm not sorry, but Grandpa could dance. Like he could tear up a rug, and he loved that. So I wanted to capture that in this tribute. But something else that I saw in all of this was that Grandpa was a man of sacrifice, and we really don't acknowledge anymore the sacrifices men make. And Grandpa, he sacrificed a lot for his family, and that really showed how much he loved his family. He told me a story about when he was in the military and he was off on tour or something, and he came home, and I mean, we could see he's decorated. He's loyal. We've talked about his patriotism to his country. But he came home one time, and he went to hug, I think it was Mom. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. He went to go hug Mom, and Mom, like, shied away from him because she didn't know him because she was too young. And in that moment, Grandpa was like, I'm done. He sacrificed his love for his country for his love for his family. People give Grandpa, they didn't do it here, but they have in the past. They gave him a lot of grief about his hunting. We talk about how he loved to hunt, but there's a whole legacy of narrative that he loved to hunt just a little too much. And maybe it was true. I mean, men are allowed to love things, people. When guys need something. And that was his thing. But he saw he was off for Christmas. He was hunting for Christmas. It got that bad or something. And so there was a video made where everyone was like kind of making fun about it. And he saw that. And everyone was laughing, but he saw that and he started crying and he gave up hunting. See, as far as I recall. He gave up that thing that he loved for his family. Now, I want to remind you, that it was mentioned, that freezer was always stacked full of venison and mutton, whatever these animals are that everybody loved to eat. Nobody wanted to complain about that. Right? They just want to complain that he was gone. But he always provided. That freezer was always packed because he sacrificed. He gave up drinking for his family. That was a good one. Probably should have just given that up for himself, but that was another thing. Like, you start chipping away at things that guys enjoy, and they got to fill it with something, Probably should have just let him hunt or fish. But he still gave up the drink. He gave it up. As things became a problem for the family, he gave it up. He sacrificed. He sacrificed the things that would bring that smile to that face so that his family could be whole. And I didn't want that to be glossed over in any of the memories. And the thing is if you asked him if he'd do it again, he would. If he'd do it all over, he would without hesitation. So, I mentioned that his family was his purpose. Men need purpose. Grandpa gave me purpose. When I look back at the things that I have, the purpose that I have that I've been striving for, it all ties back to Grandpa. Yes, my father. Yes, my mother. Yes, my upbringing. But it all ties back to my grandfather directly. My cowboy board game. I grew up watching cowboy westerns with my grandfather. I wanted something it was tied to that. It was inspired by that. Just seeing my grandfather's face when Grandma fell, and seeing that, through that trauma, that darkness, this might seem twisted, but what I saw was a man who loved a woman so much that he could not imagine his life without her. And I wanted that. Minus the fall. I wanted that. And I strive for that. And because I did, I have a lovely wife in the back who's brewing up a child for us, a family. because once there was one time that, and this is the thing. It was one summer. I forget what day, but like it was at mom and dad's house, and all the grandkids were there, and all the great grandkids were there. And they were all running around. They were making a ruckus. They were playing with it. They were pulling out every toy that they could think of and putting it in the kitchen floor and in the living room floor. And Grandpa liked to sit in this like leather recliner. If you've been to my parents' house, you'll see it. It's in the living room area. It's got a little lion tiger thing next to it that I picked out, by the way, at a store once, and it's still here. Good taste. Got it from Mom. And he loved to sit there in that chair. And I remember when all this was happening, this chaos. I was young. I didn't have a kid at the time, but I saw him, and he was just like looking around. He's like, I came over to him. I was like, man, you know, this is a lot of activity, huh? There's a lot of kids. And he said, boy, they're the greatest blessing God's ever given me. And it was like a light switch in my brain. I was like, wow. He's not saying that about his kids. I mean, he is, but he's saying that about his great-grandkids, of which he has a bajillion, according to that piece of paper we have here. I lost count. Glad somebody kept count. But I thought, in that moment, I was like, he's absolutely right. I want that. I want lots and lots of great-grandkids, which is going to require lots of grandkids, which is going to require quite a few kids. So, honey, I know, we'll work on it. But he gave me that purpose. He gave me that. I would not, without that, I would not have, I would be like, whatever, I'm out, I'm free bird. No, it was Grandpa. Grandpa gave me the purpose to grow a family because to him, the family was his blessing. It was his purpose and his blessing. And he loved to say how much he was blessed. So, you know, my wife, we have a child on the way. I really wish that Grandpa was still here so he could see him. My wife had told me the story. One of the last times we were together with the family, she went over to see him, and his face lit up, and he put his hand out to her belly, and he said, "There's a baby in there." I know he wanted to meet him. I wish he could be here to meet him, but it's okay. Because I know that Grandpa's currently up in heaven with our son's soul, and he's teaching him. He's getting him ready for down here. Now here's how you pinch, okay? And here's how that's how you actually whistle. I'm doing a terrible Grandpa voice. But I know that's what he's doing. He's teaching him how to do pranks, teaching him how to whistle, how to pinch. So keep up the good work, Grandpa. You got a couple more weeks, okay? So get it going. Grandpa always said he was blessed with family. So I wrote this song called "I've Been Blessed." We wanted to call it Grandpa's song. So in order to do that, I had to sing it. Otherwise, I was going to make it "I've Been Blessed." But so this is upcoming. This is the tribute. That's what I got. Oh, look. I didn't even start my clock, so we're done. All right, thank you.